moment I knew our soul, our highest purpose is beyond the energy of solar power and its own system. Because in the Chinese mythology or astrological divination, the sun and moon controls left brain and the right brain. And then you have 5 inner planets, right? From Mercury to Mars, the Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, okay? Each planet represents its own elemental, which means that if we think about day and night between conscious intuitive sight, left brain, right brain, and with these 5 fingers, that's the beginning of the 5 senses. And that's how the root of Chinese civilization, which is different from the Western civilization. And so for each of the day, there'll be a man on a table. Somehow the finger was cut off. One was mechanical, the other was a little boy going through meat grinders. So just 3 weeks before that, I was born with the gift of touch. When you knew, doesn't matter from the divine intuitions or divine clairvoyance or divine seeing, divine hearing, or divine smelling, divine touch, or divine taste. You are be totally responsible for what you are doing from that moment onward. It is so scary. And as we work on these 2 brothers or men, it's almost like God's telling me, hey, boy, you know your gifts. From this moment on, are you going to take care of yourself, or you want me to chop off like these first 2 boys? So we can spend many lifetimes, eons, trying to figure out whose authority is, but until we tap into the divine total. That's why you have the rainbow colors. Each color can go all the way from infrared to ultralight, from heaven to hell, back and forth. So that's first awakening. The second awakening has through, Susan was part of the family group, and I think it's 2005, 2006. Prior to that, spirits told me I have to dance in front of a drum. No clue. And so I was in Cleveland, local African-American group, following the drum, and the very first night, the drum, small room, the drum is so heavy, I feel like my heart was almost killed. So next week, I just sat down, did meditation, 5 seconds, external wave, didn't bother my heartbeat anymore. So then I started doing for the drum healing, and they never succeeded. But it turned out to be ancient, and anybody in this area has been here ever since. I think 2003, 2002, from Ghana, the drummer. And his family used to build drummers for the emperor in the hometown. And the drummers for the king or emperor, they do the annual ceremony. So the king would dance in front of the drum for the blessing of the ceremony. That's what we did at that time. I was traveling from heaven to hell and down to the earth. I died. And I disappeared. And all of a sudden, someone made someone wake me up. And that's from that moment on, I feel like it's the first time this land welcomed me. Before that, I feel like always foreigners. So even now, there's some way prevent us for this night, these things to be happening. And I never give up since 2002. And another event is John, who does the Sweet Lodge. And I think it's 2005. I was in North Carolina and Asheville area. I was supposed to be here for the Sweet Lodge, but instead I was in the south. Around 1 o'clock in the morning, the heat from the lodge moved from here, John's lodge, into my room. And the room became too hot. I opened the door, I went downstairs to ask people what happened. They said they didn't do anything. And then I let the door open, get the air circulating. I closed the door. The moment I lay down, the roof disappears. And all the edge of the corner, I see ants, like where the pattern changed, all the ants right on the edge of the wall. And then the second wave, skies becomes thousands of millions of buffaloes soaring through. And that's the second image. And the third image is all the stars form together into the white Pegasus. And then next day, spirits want me to write story of the pine tree. The story I wrote was the same exactly front cover from the turtle clans in this area. And it says initially the Earth and the Moon were the same planets. Due to the catastrophic damages, the water gushed down from Moon to Earth, so we have the blue skies. And the springtime, the golden seasons, that's how the Earth tells the Moon, the color, evergreen, blue, and gold. And so somehow, this tonight, I feel like it's almost like my last strike. I'm working so hard for the last couple of months, trying to make things happening. And the Spirit told me I'm supposed to do the teaching internationally by the time I reach age 26. So towards my birthday, on the same my birthday, my twin flame, I'm not sure anybody know the concept of twin flame, and which I have been seeking for years. It says, if you want to live the earth for a couple of years or so, and if you reach to your spiritual soul family, you must find your own twin flame. And to me, the twin flame is almost like when a seed sprouting has its own initial two leaflets. That two leaflets what God created each of the souls. So I found her, and she's in her own contract, and we all have our own journey. From that moment, I'll say where the star we came from, which is the constellation Hydra, and what is not here, all the way in between, back and forth. We have past life experiences. I was awakening as a young girl, get married in Jerusalem. A couple of months later, I get pregnant, I die from miscarriage. And it's that moment I realized when the big baby died in the womb, in the mom's belly, it stops automatically the adrenals. It's shut down the furnaces. So as a result, all the embryonic fluid gushing into the rest of the body. That's how mom dies. And it's from that moment on, I'm no longer hungry how it feels to be in a woman's body, because that was my own body. And so the story begins here is from when I was 43 years old. One of the night, I was this whitish and purplish lotus flower in the sky, my soul or my spirit. And instantly, I drew two dots on the ground. One dot was my mom's graveyard. And I knew the direction of the casket was off about 5 degrees or so. And also by the time they placed her down, they never stretched her neck. Listen to this part, they never stretched her neck. On the other side, was my parents' bedroom. I have 2 old brothers and sisters. My parents make love on the side, so my mom never make any voice. Just swallowed in. So that's how I was happening. And it's that moment on, I feel like I became a little bird. I was ready picking the shells of the egg to become totally liberated. And it's also that moment I feel like I'm free on the soul and conscious level to be in a male body, hungry, seeking for the female side of me. So from 43 till 57 now, it's 15 years of taking. And the real story of happening tonight is that on a personal scale, Mary Hardy, somebody know American Dowers, they've been there for years with Dean Hardy. They had a small pyramids in Kalamazoo, Michigan. It was them. I went from 2009, 2010, 2011 for 3 or 4 years in the National Convention Center. So when he died, I went to his wake room and I asked him, why did you leave your body a couple of years ahead of time? And he says, I have to help 4 of my ancestors. I have to help 4 of my ancestors. So that's the beginning of downloading. So I told his youngest son, which the reason they built pyramids, I said, go to your dad's in the graveyard on the day he was buried for 7 weeks, week after week. On the 6th week, he saw his dad, came out the graveyard, hugged him, and went to the graveyard again and ascended. So even you have the physical pyramids, it doesn't take away the ancestral obligation. So the purpose is that, now let's continue this, okay? How many finger bones we have in total? How many in total? The thumb has how many? 2, right? 2. The rest each has 3, right? 3. Now, so imagine these are parents, okay? These 2 fingers represent our parents. That's first 2 ancestors, okay? And the top 4 here represents 4 grandparents, okay? 4 grandparents. Okay, I'm starting receiving information right now. First time here, okay? This first finger represents from winter to spring, which is the kidney meridians, and the kidney meridian represents mom's mom. Okay, let's jot it down right now. Whoops. So first kidney meridian, okay, KI, is mom's mom, okay, mom's mom. So index finger, okay, and she has 2 parents. You see that? Mom's mom has 2 parents, all 3 fingers. Okay, this is from winter to spring. This is from spring to summer, which is the heart meridian. The heart meridian. This represents heart meridian. Okay, the heart meridian represents father's mom. Father's mom. Okay, then winter to spring, spring to summer, summer to fall. Small intestine here. Okay, small intestine represents mom's father. And the final bladder represents father's father. So this is what you take home right now, okay? These are the 14 ancestors in us. This is dad and mom. This is mom's mom and 2 of her parents. This is father's mom, the longest finger. Summer season the longest, you see, summer. This is the father's mom and her 2 parents. The small intestine mom's father and the 4 season represent and 2 of his parents. And finally, father's father, bladder meridian, represents, small intestine. Oh, the bladder, the little finger, and 2 more. So those are the 12 disciples in the Bible. So we become number 15, our spirit. We have 2 fingers and thumb. Number 15 is our spirit. So that's the very first coding right now. Tonight, our job, I'm so happy, and I have shared a very sad story to my brother Steve, Dr. Steve, and my worst memory recently. And when I was young, when I do the real work, people say, "Oh, you're amazing." So they were mesmerized. Or cessation, mesmerized. So until a couple of months ago, somebody called on my phone. I was dragged like a dog. I went to the Home Depot and purchased gift card. Each card's worth $1,000, 5 or 6. A couple hours later, the money is gone. So that's universal punishment to me. I did not using the word or the concept or the energy amazing properly. It's a holy responsibility. So even though external I paid, I'm still paying less, $5,000 or so, but on the soul level, from this moment on, I will never use that gift to mesmerize people so they can follow me. It's not my job anymore. So in country tonight, I'm so happy. Okay, try that. The concept of this 15 by 15. One day I walk in Home Depot, I saw plum wood, 2 by 2, 2 by 4, this. I said, why make 15 by 15? So I did not honor who did that plus sign in the beginning. So as a result tonight, the work we do rely on each of us as the master of dowsers. So regardless how many things you dowsed before, has any of you dowsed your own conception yet? Anybody? has any of you through the dowse to know exactly how many ancestors were present at your conception, including your own spirits? Has anybody know exactly which ancestor stayed which part of this body? Oh, good. So we have all clean. So which means each of you become your own master dowsers now to know exactly in that factor second what happens in your conception. What's the ancestral infrastructures? What happens from the 2 bloodlines, dad and mom, to 4 bloodlines, mom's parents and dad's parents, to 8 bloodlines behind. How 8 great-grandparents orchestrating to 4 grandparents and 2 of our parents, finally, the single line. Who is the single line, bloodline from us to one of the grandparents, to one of the 4 grandparents, to one of the 8 great-grandparents, and backwards, another 4 generations, another 8 generations, another 6 generations, on and on, backwards, all the way. We start playing the role of Adam and Eve, which is the big sacrifice I did in this lifetime, because from 2002, I want to really know what's happening, me, from my dad to his sperm to me. I spent years on saying, Dad, what your sperm has done to me. That's my conscious evolution. Okay, he's from his father from his father, all the way back to the androgynous Chinese Adam called Fu Xi, who was the inventor of the 8 trigram, which is the birth of binary system. If you study Asian I Ching, okay? Binary system, I Ching trigram, okay? It's not for tonight. So when I was playing that book, I want to understand the conception codes, because I don't like the regular Chinese medicine concept stuff from the lung reading and ancient mythology and testament reading. It's all metals. Because when the life began with that breath, with the sound of the vital breath, the beta state, how could you talk about life? See? That's why it became the lung reading. But that's not the beginning of life. The real beginning of life is what we are about working on today. It's not about anything else business, but our own journey, our own celestial contract evolution with the bloodlines behind us, which what make us how we are, which is different from everybody else in the universe. So as a result, think of our body as 2 tracks of being or energies. One side is our soul, like me. I came from a constellation Hydra. When I landed with a twin flame on the ionosphere, my soul and her soul would dunk through the vanguard of Mars, I went to the moon, and then we came back again. It's very hard entering the solar system and going through the varnished heat layers of ionospheres. Not easy. That's why we keep the water inside. If the ionosphere blows, the water goes out right away. We have no water system left. So that's one track. The other track is that according to the information I received, okay, I'm only sharing what I know, what I was told. The beginning of the humanity were given birth by 8 holy mothers. 8 holy mothers. And each gave birth a set of twins. That's why we human beings have only 2 breasts and 2 nipples. Not like the rest animals has 8 or 16, okay? That's why in Lord Shiva's dance, the complete image of swastika, Lord Shiva's dance, you know that dance has 16 arms, 8 on each side. So 16 arms represent the original 16 individuals given birth by 8 holy mothers. So that's the beginning of spiritual life and physical life. So if you want to learn, study any esoteric tradition, original roots, as long as you stay one of the 16 bloodline, you know the beginning. You are connected to origins. Otherwise, when you die, your soul becomes medium lights floating in air. There's no connection to celestial family. That's what spiritual work is about, to go back, connect biological bloodline as an origin and a spiritual as a soul, as a beings. That's the 2 tracks, okay? So somehow, the moment we're choosing this flesh, there's all the infrastructure within 3 generations that multiplies back into millions or thousands years ago, okay? That's one track. The other tracks are soul choosing to reconnect any soulmates we never complete in the previous lifetime. So that's the two tracks between ancestral family members on one side and karmic souls on the other side. They are interchanging. So every time you go through a difficult change of life, a lot might come into your life. What is going to reflect? Are you playing the role of ancestral members? Are you going to play the role of past life karmic souls? So these two tracks interchanging back and forth to the point you have no clue what you're playing for until you retain your own spirit. And then you're free from both, between planetary level and astral levels. Okay, let's back to this part, okay? The beginning of this concept has been given to us 26,000 years ago by Dowers, founder of Lao a Chinese philosophy. Has anybody read the book of Tao Te Ching? So you read it, right?
I read it.
Yeah, good. It's the second most translated book besides Bible. And it's the only spiritual information the founders never left a single trace of physical end or physical result. Lord Buddha and Jesus Christ on the cross, Muhammad on the moon, and Lord Buddha on trees. They all have final legacies, final images. Lord Buddha just left image of words and disappeared. He became ancient incarnation Babaji, according to Kriya Yoga. So that's the history behind. Anyhow, so he says in chapter 11, 30 spokes joined in the wheels. Why 30? It's been the speculation ever. So tonight we are reawakening what has been recorded ever since. And I'm so happy this is the first time I'm presenting this information publicly, and we never stop from this moment on till each being see his or her own conception clearly. That's my goal. So as a result, going back second page, okay? This is the original roots, okay? So in our conception, which I'll hand out quickly, okay? There'll be minimum 2 ancestors to maximum 9 ancestors in attending our own conception party, which is opposite to Last Supper.